The house had learned his footsteps, the slow drag of slippers across tile, the pause at every doorway where memory waited like a witness. 30 years of marriage ended here in this quiet after the noise of cameras and sirens faded. He lived alone now, an aging husband surrounded by objects that refused to forget. The kettle whistled each morning for 2 cups, and each morning he poured one down the sink before sitting at the table. Her chair remained untouched. He spoke to no one about the past. When neighbors nodded, he nodded back, careful not to invite questions. The tragedy had been public enough. Newspapers had used words like shocking and unthinkable, but none of them captured the way silence pressed against his ribs at night. Sleep came in fragments, interrupted by images he could not reorder. He remembered her as she had been in the beginning, careful, gentle, almost shy. Their life had been built from routines rather than passion. She woke before him, folded laundry with precision, avoided mirrors. He told himself this was love, constancy without demand. The longer they stayed together, the more sacred those routines felt, as if repetition itself were proof of devotion. Yet memory had begun to rot around the edges. Sometimes he would catch himself replaying moments he had never questioned before. The way she flinched at doctors' offices. The way intimacy happened only in darkness, always initiated by him, always ending before it felt complete. He had accepted every boundary as kindness, every refusal as pain he should not reopen. Marriage, he believed, meant learning what not to ask. The house still smelled faintly of her soap. He had tried switching brands, but habit defeated intention. In the evenings, he sat by the window and watched headlights smear across the street, thinking of the years when she waited for him there, hands folded, eyes tracking the door. He wondered now what she had been thinking in those moments, what calculations ran beneath her calm face. Guilt arrived without warning, not for what he had done, that came later, but for what he had failed to see. He told himself he had been a good husband. He had provided, protected, stayed. But goodness, he was learning, could coexist with blindness. The silence in the house felt intentional, as if it were keeping something from him. At night, he opened drawers he had not touched in decades, running his fingers over papers, photographs, and receipts, searching for reassurance. Instead, he found the weight of unanswered questions pressing harder with every breath. He did not yet know what truth would demand of him. He only knew that the life he remembered was no longer whole, and that somewhere inside those 30 years lay a fracture he had stepped over again and again, calling it love. The quiet was not peace. It was waiting. As dawn crept in, he sat with the past arranged like evidence, sensing that memory was preparing to move backward. What came before the silence, before the rules and routines, would no longer stay buried. The beginning was calling him, insistent and unfinished, and he feared what he might recognize once he allowed himself to look. It would not be kind or gentle or easily forgiven by time, or by him, either.